Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. How do. How's everybody doing today? Gonna give this just a minute or two and let people get on here. Give it just a minute or two, let Facebook kind of put everything out there, because they've been stopping a lot of my notifications here lately. I just wanted to visit with you guys today. Hello Jay, how you doing, brother? Whew. Yeah, I am a mess. I am. You should have seen Mick before I watched him off. He was just as bad, if not worse, than I am. It was, sale went pretty good till the very end. We had a bunch of cattle get out in the alley, and they went down the very end. Well, the mud's about belly deep on old Mick. And, yeah, they decided they was going to splash around a little bit. But, you know, it brings up a point that I wanted to talk about today. You know, not only am I, what I do for a living, I love. I love it. If I could do this every single day of my life, I would. I wouldn't change a thing. But I keep hearing people talk. I keep hearing ranch hands talk. People that have cowboyed their whole life. That's my age, 54. They're getting away from it. They quit cowboying. I keep hearing people talk about they wish they could start something up, but they can't. Hey Greg, how's it going? Look, I'm like you sometimes. I'm just nasty today. But I keep hearing these young people say, even people my age that has a little place, and they're trying to go, and they're buying a couple old heavy bred cows, calving them out, and then selling them after the calves about 2 months bred, 3 months bred. And people just can't do it no more. We have a market right now that's a buyer's market as far as cattle go. It is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not a seller's market. But today, as I was driving to work, hello Ed, hey Stephen. I had an interesting phone call from a really good friend of mine up in Montana. He's been cowboying up there now for 25 years. And his brother has a deal down in Nevada with BLM. And his brother just lost everything. Finally in the same time zone. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember where you said you was going today. We are. But anyway, his brother lost BLM today. He had 250 pairs out on BLM land, and he lost it. BLM took it away from him today. And he said he talked to his brother about what he's going to do now that he's lost everything, that BLM pulled the cattle away from him. Pulled his pasture away from him. He says, I got to sell my cows. There's no place to go with them, so I got to sell them. So he's selling his cows next week because they gave him 30 days to be off. So he's trying to get a cattle buyer to come out and look at his cattle and sell them next week. But he's been paying attention to the market. And he said, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose everything worse than what I've lost before. Yeah, he is. He is. And as I was visiting with this gentleman up in Montana this morning, as I was driving to work, he said he's done. He's done cowboying for a living. He said he can't raise his family on it no more. He's got four kids. The oldest one is 18, 16, 14, 12. He can't do it no more. He said financially, he says, I can't raise my family on a ranch anymore. He said it's bad enough when my wife has to go to work, and not only am I cowboying all day long, but my wife has to work about 12 hours a day, and we don't have no time for our kids. He said we just can't do it no more. I heard tell of a young man whose dad was a hell of a buckaroo, a top hand anywhere he went. And this young man, his dad died a couple years ago, but this young man finally came out a couple weeks ago and said he's done. He's done cowboying. He said ranches ain't ranches no more. He said ranches have become too political. So everybody's asking, what are you going to do? He says, I'm going to go learn how to fly airplanes. I know many guys that have quit working ranches, even quit raising cattle, because of the difficulties and the stress. I know many guys that own their own places that don't even pay themselves cowboy wages. Now you think of cowboy wages. There's still places today that want to pay you like you. This was 1980. They still want to pay you $800 a month. They want to, if you're a single man, that's what they want to pay is $800 a month. Or if you're a good hand and single, they'll pay you $1,200, $1,500 a month. And they might or might not give you a place to live. And they might not furnish anything else. They might give you half a beef a year, but there's no insurance, no nothing. And the problem with that is too, even the married men that get hired on places. Are you eating stickers? I swear I got a dumb dog. Wizard, hey, what are you eating? Are you eating stickers? Anybody want a dog? I got an Australian Border Collie. He's just goony. He's goony, ain't he? Your brother's goony. But anyway, as a married man, they've jumped the wages up quite a bit. There's some states that's paying $2,500 a month. There's some states offering $3,000 a month. But if they're offering those kind of wages, they're not giving them a place to live. That's the dog. Sorry, guys. They're not giving them a place to live. They have to go get their own place to live. So they're adding that in on their wages to help do that. But at the same time, they're not giving them insurance. They might give them a beef, a quarter here, a quarter there. And it's tough. It really is tough. And that's one thing right there, Stephen. Back in the day, the benefits was your wages. And that was a place to live, a beef a year. You got a ranch truck to drive. And one of the good things is you could use your own horses, or you had to ride your horses. But they let you use their truck and their trailer, like if you went into town and to a ranch rodeo or ranch rope and stuff like that. And some places still, the larger places still do that, but the smaller places don't. And yeah, you got to take all that into consideration. Say you're getting paid $1,500 a month, but they're giving you a place to live. Sometimes it's a bunkhouse if you're a single man. Okay, so they're going to give you a bunkhouse to live in. You got to figure that'd be a one-room apartment, and those can go for about $700 a month. If you're a married man, they're giving you a house. If you got any kids or anything, it's probably a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house, maybe just a 2-bedroom. So, okay, 2-bedroom house, depending on what state you're in, it could vary between $800 a month and $1,500 a month. And that's added in as a bonus, so you got to add that into your wages. And then the beef, you got to add that beef in. And then if they pay your utilities or not. And some ranches would pay all of your utilities except for propane, and you had to pay for your own propane for your place. So you got to add all those in. Okay, so there's a plus. But there's a lot of places that don't. But I hate to say this, and it's not because the place wants to be, but because it has to be. Ranches are becoming political because corporations are buying the ranches. Corporations are taking over the ranches, and it's all a political game. I remember when I worked for a big ranch. I mean a big ranch. It was owned by the Koch brothers, Koch Industries. They had one general manager who worked down in their little deal in Wichita, and he would come around to the main place. Well, when he did, we were told straight out, you cannot have any clothing with holes in it at all. You can't have a shirt that's got holes in it. You can't have any pants with holes in it. Your mustache could not look like this. It had to be neatly trimmed off your lip and not past the corners of your mouth, believe it or not. It also said that your clothes had to be ironed and had to look nice, and you couldn't have shit on your boots. And I'm kind of like, really? And one time they told us this man is coming around, and I talked to the manager. I said, I'd like to visit with him if I could. I said, not about the ranch, but I want to talk to him about agriculture in general. Oh, you can't do that. Well, why not? Because he don't talk to guys like you. What do you mean, guys like me? Well, guys, you're the worker, and he don't have time to visit with you. Well, if you don't have time to visit with me, then how does he know what can be improved on the ranch and can't for us ranch hands? Well, that's why he talks to me. That way I can tell him what's what. And the shame about it is a lot of ranchers are coming that way now. And it's a shame. And it's really a shame when these ranches also are saying, and it's happened to me and some other people I know, where they've let us go because we do not have a degree. We don't have an animal science degree, which is 2 years. We don't have a range management degree, which is 2 years. We don't have farm and ranch management degree, which is 2 years. We don't have a bachelor's degree in some form of ag business or ag economics or something like that. So we get fired off the place, but before we get fired off the place, they hire somebody straight out of college, and they want us to teach them about the ranch. They want us to teach this college kid how things are done on the place, how to saddle his horses, how to ride the horses, because most of the time they were ranch horses back then. Wizard, quit. Goonie. And there's a lot of guys that happen to. And I'm not going to begrudge anybody trying to get better. I'm not. But when you go to firing ranch hands that's done it their whole life and still able to outwork most of the people they know, because politics dictates they want people with degrees. I got a problem with that. Because they do have a degree. They got a degree from the School of Hard Knocks. Ladies and gentlemen, cowboying isn't easy. There's nothing glamorous about cowboying. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. There's not, except for watching the sunset at night. Wizard! Or the sunrise in the morning. Hey, God, you're a pain. Now quit. Watching the sunrise in the morning or sunset at night, to me, that's the most glamorous time of the day, but also with calving season. Now, to me, calving season is glamorous. I love night calving. I will not calve on any outfit anywhere in the United States. I don't care if it's Pennsylvania, Alaska, New York, Florida. I don't give a damn. If you want me to night calve for you in the middle of winter time, just let me know. Anybody want a dog? All right, get down. But I like night calving for the simple fact is because it's you. You're out there by yourself. You're calving out 600 cows or 600 heifers by yourself. Your day starts at 5 o'clock in the evening and goes till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. You go out, and I always have a horse. I use a horse during calving season. I don't use four-wheelers. I don't use, all this other crap that they do. I use a horse, and I got a calf sled, and I make my own calf sleds. That way, if a calf is born outside and there's a storm, I can throw him on the calf sled, get on my horse, dally up, drag it in the barn because the cow's going to follow it. Once we get in the barn, I'll close the doors, I'll put them in the jug. But what I love about nighttime calving is there's nobody around. Nobody. Not only are you doing your job, you're cleaning your jugs, you're riding your cattle every 30, 45 minutes, you're always checking for stuff that's going to calve. You keep a fire going in the warming room in case you do get a calf born outside and you got to warm them up. There you go. And it's done by a wood stove. But it gives you time also to think about everything. And sometimes the bad thing is you can overthink things. You can think about the ranch job. You can think about the ranch. You can think about the government. You can think, I was calving, no lie, I was calving one time in South Dakota and in Montana. One time February, 1st of February, about the middle of February. In Montana, the Aurora Borealis came over. And I was above Helena, Montana. And I could see all of Helena. I could see all the way south, down towards Townsend, Montana. And that was the prettiest sight I ever seen in my life. And I sit there and I think, I wonder what this country is like before white people came here and destroyed it. Because up there, the Blackfeet Indian are rampant. They're all over the way. It was the Blackfeet and the Bannock Indians. And the Crows. And when I was over in South Dakota, I was kind of in the same situation. I was not calving and I didn't have nothing going on, so I just went riding up in the hills. And when I got up the hills, I came upon this one hill and I could just look forever. And it's what I call a calving moon, where I mean it's bright. Because that moon, when that moon's out and it's a full moon and there's no clouds in the sky, you got a reflection come off the snow. It's just like right now. You can see everything. You don't have to carry a flashlight at nighttime. Well, you can see everything you need to see. And I tell you what, that is glamorous. That is glamorous. But when you come home looking like this every day, it's not glamorous. But it's part of the life. It's part of the living. And everybody wants to do cowboy shit. Everybody. Everybody wants to grow up, be a cowboy. Everybody wants to. Even these people today, the adults say, oh, I'd love to go out and do this. Until you start looking like this. Until you have to get down to the nitty gritty. Now we got people in three-piece suits that's trying to tell us how to cowboy. We got people in three-piece suits telling us how to ranch. We got people in three-piece suits how to doctor our cattle. What to give them, what not to give them. What to feed them, what not to feed them. There's been operations out there going for many, many years without that kind of influence. And they've been productive. They've learned to diversify too and make themselves better. But we still have people in government that's trying to dictate how agriculture should be done in this country. That's right. Everybody wants to do cowboy shit until it's time to actually do it. And then people in three-piece suits, ladies and gentlemen, you will never see them look like this. Never. You will never see them out there with their arms stuck up a cow's vagina trying to get a calf's legs up or turn a calf over or pick its head up so you can pull the legs out. You won't see that because that's beneath them. And they don't know how to do it anyway. That's why they hire people like me to do it. And that's fine. They can hire me because I love doing it. I will not calve for anybody. Because the nice thing is, there's nobody around to screw with me. And I can do what I know how to do. And I'm pretty happy to say I usually come out with about, if everything goes right, I got about a 98% calving ratio. 98 to 99% calving ratio. Because I live with them. I do. There's a lot of times I'll just have my bedroll and I'll sleep right there at the bar. We got people in three-piece suits that won't do that. They want to tell us how it's all done. That's the bad part about it. And there's people out there struggling right now. Their stress levels is through the roof right now because the bankers, government, USDA, National Cattlemen's Association, your local state cattle association is doing everything they can to dictate how you do your stuff. And it's a shame. Yeah, you'll never see a glove on their arm. That's for damn sure. But one of the things too, and there's ranchers that follow this show, and people that raise cattle for a living, and they can tell you they've never had a banker come out and want to do what they're doing, working on equipment, working on cattle, doing a C-section, hauling off dead, helping them feed, helping them fix fence, helping them fix water gaps, helping them irrigate. You'll never see that, ladies and gentlemen. But they have no qualms about telling you how to raise your livestock. They have no qualms about telling you what you're supposed to do. And it's aggravating. And the stress level is extremely, extremely high, especially when the payments are coming due, if they're taking out operating loans, and the market's down, and you can't pay off that operating loan. Then you try to figure out what to do, and you figure out, maybe I got to live another year without a paycheck. Because that rancher himself is probably only paying himself maybe $800 a month. But yet he's paying his hired men and his day work, day wages, and he's probably paying his hired man $10 to $12 an hour, but he's only probably taking about $8 an hour himself, or $5 an hour. The love that we have for this lifestyle goes without saying. But the shame of it is every day, more and more, we have more ranchers and more farmers committing suicide because of the stresses that's upon agriculture right now. When that major flood hit Nebraska and drowned all the crops you can ever imagine, millions of bushels of crops, drowned thousands, and I mean thousands of head of cattle and calves. They're not going to come out and publicly tell you how many ranchers and farmers killed themselves. But let me tell you, it's more than a handful. I've known ranchers that one day we're sitting there talking to them. The next day I get a phone call and says they're dead. They went out into a pasture somewhere, and it really hurts. It really hurts because I'm watching something I never thought I'd see get torn apart. And that's agriculture, ladies and gentlemen. That's why no matter what I do in my life, I will always be a part of agriculture. No matter where I go, no matter if I have to change occupations or whatever, I will have cattle in my life. I will raise cattle. Even if I have to raise cattle to sell to the public, that's what I'm going to do. Because you know what? I'm tired of the government dictating how agriculture is supposed to be done. I'm getting tired of hearing how the government wants to take over agriculture. I'm getting damn tired of the government saying they know how to do this better than we do. And we've been doing it for generations. We know how to make the land produce more without the government. We know how to make water more effective on the land so we can get better hay, better crops, better commodities than the government. All the government knows how to do is steal our water. We know how to do rotational programs to get better grasses in our pastures. Government don't. Government reads it in the book and says that's how it's supposed to be done, but you don't have the slightest idea. Because you're not out here sweating, bleeding, crying, getting 1-2 hours sleep a night. Anybody want a dog? You'll never see them out here doing that. So they don't know. They can sit there and flap their gums all they want, but they have no clue what people in agriculture go through. They don't. There's farmers out there every day. Right now they're trying to plant wheat. And it's going in the ground good. But they're trying to figure out what kind of wheat to plant because the government keeps screwing around with the wheat. And it's a shame. Right now there's people, their calving season, believe it or not, the fall calvers just now started calving. Good time of the year. We're going to start being in the 80s here in northwest Oklahoma. It's perfect time to start calving. And a good calving season goes for about 70 days. As long as the government stays out of it, you're going to be doing good. But if they keep dropping the markets, it's going to make you wonder. I just thought I'd come on here and give my opinion on kind of what I've seen and what I'm hearing about people actually getting out of ranching. Kids not wanting to take over the farming operations or the ranching operations. It's a shame. It really is a shame. I know of a place right now in Kansas, over here by Protection, Kansas, has been in the family for 4 generations, 5 generations. And as soon as the man dies, it will no longer be in the family because nobody wants it. He told me the kids want to sell it because they want the money. None of them want to ranch because they've gone off. They're doctors and lawyers and they got all these good jobs and they don't want to ranch. Because ranching right now, full-time ranching is a losing proposition. It is. I hate to say it, but it is. But I just kind of wanted to say my piece on this and kind of go from there. And, you know, when I'm hearing this stuff like today, I'm hearing people talking, it just breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart to hear this more and more every day. Dog, you're a Goomba. But I can't stress enough, ladies and gentlemen, just how important agriculture is in your life and in my life and in everybody's life that's following this right now. There's people following this right now that raise cattle for a living. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They have crops, which is commodities. They might be growing their own feed. They might be growing feed to sell. They know exactly what I'm talking about. This is nothing easy. There's nothing easy about this. There's daughters on here. Their dads were farmers. There's people on here who's worked feedlots and sell barns their life. They know exactly what I'm talking about. All I ask is you guys start paying attention to our agriculture in America. Because trust me, without it, and if the government takes over it, we're all screwed. We're screwed royally. And like I said, you will never see anybody in a 3-piece suit look like this. Never. Because everybody wants to do cowboy shit until it's time to do cowboy shit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. God bless you. God bless everybody in agriculture. And just remember, the good Lord up above will help you take them steps forward and keep life going. If you notice somebody that's in need and having some problems, I want somebody to talk to them. Don't put it off. Talk to them. Because if you put them off, they might not be there tomorrow. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for being here. Bye.